Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network and another episode of Prop Party. I can't believe it's week 14, but this is a week 14 prop party where we are going to talk about a first look at our favorite alts, anytime touchdowns, parlays, and of course, build a Thursday night football same game parlay in just 1 minute. That's right. Happy Thursday and happy week 14 prop party. One of my favorite shows to do of the week to, of course, talk through an early look at our favorite alts, anytime touchdowns and parlays. Week 14, we've got a ton of buys. Makes it very interesting. So Tyler, how are you doing? And what are you thinking about this wild week 14 slate with a lot of teams missing?
Yeah, I think it's a good slate. I think we'll still be able to find some winners. I mean, yeah, we do have some teams on buys, but I mean, we had the teams on buys on week 12 last week because of the Thanksgiving games. We had them all back, so we felt spoiled. It's just a normal week for us.
Exactly. We'll still find some good winners. Like Tyler said, Steve, how are you doing? And how are you feeling about week 14?
Doing pretty good. Week 14, definitely some top offenses on buy, but I think there's some really good matchups. So I'm excited for that.
I just have to laugh. Riggs, my dog, waits until literally I hit go on the show and he decides to then get comfortable. So he likes to make an appearance. That is Riggs getting comfortable in his bed, making an appearance. Hopefully he likes our picks for week 14. Have to shout out our, last week in its entirety real quick from essentially, help me do the math right, or think this through, Steve, from Sunday, week 12 through Sunday, week 13. We hit, I believe, 6 parlays, a few on the Sunday prior, then hit 2 on Black Friday, a fun anti-correlated one because we know the Chiefs don't cover the spread. So you just do a little anti-correlated there. We did Chiefs props, Raiders spread, almost got the Raiders money line. That was wild. And then so hit 2 on Black Friday and another anti-correlated one. Tyler's Steelers money line and Bengals props. That was beauty. So that was a ton of fun. Hit 6 parlays, was up almost 40 units in our parlay bets, betting a half unit on each parlay in that Sunday to Sunday. And it was tons of fun. And you can join the fun too. You see the link on the bottom, Dub Club, free week, then just $45 for the rest of the football season. And you can find that link on fanspeak.com, just on the homepage. There's a big Dub Club. Again, free week trial. You can also get Spread and Tyler's free NFL betting card, which we'll have that up soon. But you can check out their free NFL betting card show from Tuesday. You check out Andrew and Justin's Underdog Dailies show last night. We're, of course, breaking it down here. And then Andrew and Justin will be back tomorrow with DJ and Dad. So full slate on Fanspeak Network, free stuff on fanspeak.com. Steve's free article, obviously, on Underdog rankings. Again, the Dub Club, try it for free for a week. And Spread and Tyler's picks will probably be up tonight or tomorrow for week 14. So now that's out of the way, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed so you know when all these shows go live. We have shows every single day of the weekdays covering you for Underdog Dailies and sports betting. So now that we got that out of the way, Tyler, week 14, talking alts first. What alts are you eyeing up at this, in an early look stage here on Thursday?
The first 2 I'm eyeing up, I don't see numbers for the first one, but I want some Tyrone Tracy against New Orleans. Their defense can't tackle at all. I seen this line was set at 58.5. I would alt that up to 100. I think he could have a big game against them. My favorite one this week, just give me the Seattle wide receivers. Give me Jackson Smith and Jigba. You can get on DK, you can get 70 plus at even money. 80 plus is plus 150. 90s plus 215, and 100's 3-1. The Cardinals defense is terrible in the secondary. They have been solid the last couple of weeks, but they've gotten a lot out of these guys. But I think it's starting to wear off. I think Seattle is going to beat them again like they did 2 weeks ago. And they're going to use a lot of Jackson Smith and Jigba. So I'm going to go to him.
Yeah, I like that one. I just was reading up on that game, and you can really attack the Cardinals underneath. So he's kind of the better play 1-for-1 versus Metcalf. And I love that JSN call out. So Tracy and JSN for Tyler. Steve, week 14, what are you eyeing up?
So first one, I'm going to go in the same game that Tyler started, and that's the Saints-Giants. But I'm going to go the Saints side. Give me Alvin Kamara. Taysom Hill's done. Everyone's getting injured. Sure, MVS will get one or two deep throws thrown at him, but I'm going to attack Kamara. You could attack it rushing. You could attack it receiving. I'm going to go rushing and receiving. You have to go to 150 to get plus odds, but I like he's the only guy they had. You looked at the Rams game, and even before Taysom got injured, he was getting every single touch. I think he keeps getting every single touch. I'm going to go 150 plus yards is plus 175. I like that a lot. Next one, I'm going to look at the receiving market and give me Brock Bowers. 70 plus is minus 105. 80 plus is plus 140. 90 plus 200. We're talking against the Buccaneers secondary, who's awful. Everyone can throw on them. We just saw Bryce Young have his best game essentially of his career against them, and likely a very negative game script. And that was a game that was actually kind of Buccaneers were down. So Bowers, we saw against Kansas City. This guy is matchup proof. He's amazing. Just keep giving me any line with him. And honestly, in that same game, I like Mike Evans the same way. He's chasing 1,000-yard season.
Yep.
Wanting to get him there. The Raiders are beatable. Through the air. We saw Hopkins and Kelsey have good games against them. 70 plus is minus 110. 80 plus 130. 90 plus 195. He needs 100. So give me that for plus 280. I just really like Evans in this matchup. So I like both sides. I'm absolutely going to be doing the same game parlay of those two. And then the final receiver I'm going to point to, Tyreek Hill. Sauce Gardner is probably not playing in this game. That's what it looks like. Hill's been more utilized. He had a pretty good game last week on Thanksgiving. 70 plus is plus 110. 80 plus 165. 90 plus 235. Dolphins are must win if they have any shot at the playoffs. Jets are reeling. They're going to be without Sauce Gardner. I like Tyreek to have a big game.
Okay. What about Jonnu? What's Jonnu's line in that same game? I've been a Jonnu girl since basketball season, and he has been coming through in a massive way. What is
Jonnu? You need to go to 60 to get plus odds. So 60 is plus 130. I don't mind that at all, but I just think Hill with no Sauce Gardner there.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So I wrote down Kamara, Bowers, Evans, Tyreek Hill. I like Jonnu too. Would you go to Baker at 250 in the same game?
Absolutely. I think Baker is a big game. We've heard Bucky Irving is a little banged up. Even if he plays, they might not run as much as they did. And I think Baker could have a pretty big game.
Okay. I like that. Okay. I've got two games I'm focusing on. So first is basically two defenses we want to attack. First of all, the Titans defense is very, very banged up right now. Jaguars defense, we know we can attack. Makes me a little queasy with Mac Jones and Will Levis, but you know what? This is where we're at. But we've got some superstar firepower at the receiver position in Calvin Ridley. You thought I was going to say Nick Westbrook-Akine, I bet. But I'm actually, look for his 2 tuds prop, right? No, I'm actually talking about Calvin Ridley and Brian Thomas Jr. 60 plus for BTJ is minus 105, 70 plus 145. I mean, I think you could alt that one up to 100. I mean, I just looked at it, saw the Titans report, and it's just littered. I don't have all the names off the top of my head, but it's full. You get plus odds at Calvin Ridley at 70 plus. So I like that a lot. So I love those 2 receivers. I'm kind of focusing on them in DFS, but in the sports betting market, I'll probably do a same game parlay with this because Levis would only need 225 at plus odds. So I don't mind a little same game parlay here. And I absolutely love those 2 receivers. Finally, I'm going back to Tyler's team. I've been bullish on the Steelers for a while now. I'm so bullish on, Russ and Pickens together. Obviously, Pickens didn't have a massive day, but Russ sure as hell did against Cincinnati. Russ threw for almost 280 in the snow against Cleveland. So I want to see what his passing line's at, but they have been kind of disrespectfully low to him all year. I'm not seeing a line right now. Is it up on FanDuel? Have you checked that one out yet, Tyler?
I'll look now, but I haven't seen any lines up for that game yet.
I see touchdowns.
I see passing props here. He is set at 231.5.
Yes, I will go up to 250 on this. Again, he threw 280, I believe, in the snow. And we saw Bo Nix, go over his prop against this Cleveland Browns defense. Love Russ Pickens again here back in Pittsburgh, not in the massive snow game. Let's say hi to our guy, Jamie. Always good to see you, Jamie. He says DJ Reed is better than Sauce. So is that going to be the starting corner for the Jets, Steve?
Well, he's the other starting corner.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, Sauce has had a rough year for.
Yeah.
So I have to ask the Steelers fan, what do you think about Russ and Pickens this week and going back to the well there?
I think they should have a good game. I mean, I think we win this one over the last matchup with Cleveland. I don't think the weather's going to be as crazy as it was in that game.
Right.
So they won't have that helping them out. I don't think they're able to put together the ground game again like they did with Nick Chubb against us, because ever since that game, he hasn't been able to do anything. He was non-existent last week. So I think they'll be able to handle him this week. My worry, though, for the Pickens Russ thing is they kind of handle him too well.
Too much? Yeah.
And it's just like, all right, now we're just going to run the ball with Najee and Warren because we're up 20.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that is always, we got the full Jameis experience, as everybody says, the full Jameis experience. That would be throwing touchdowns to his team and the other team. And so definitely, if we get too many of those, it might be a little harder to push back. Though, I mean, he certainly pushed that ball in over 400 yards of 4 touchdowns against the Broncos defense. So wild times. I don't think it's going to be that, but Jamie says he kind of likes Ford this week as a sneaky play. I'm not sure if you mean DFS or props, but I'm not sure it's props, but yeah, he definitely got a lot more workload last week. I mean, yeah, it's sad because you're rooting for Nick Chubb, so much, but he's averaging, I think, less than 3 yards a carry or something like that. So can't really, wouldn't be surprised if Ford continues to get more action. Okay. So that's our first look at alts. Now we're going to do first look at anytime touchdowns. Again, our final list of alts that we are betting individually, touchdowns we're betting individually. And of course, parlays will be up in Dub Club by Saturday for the Sunday slate. Again, check out the link at the bottom for free on fanspeak.com for a free trial. Anytime touchdowns this week. We'll of course have another Fanspeak touchdown treasure chest parlay, but Tyler, who are your favorite touchdowns you're looking at this week?
My favorite one this week, Meg, is the last time I'm going to bet this guy. He better score a touchdown this week. It's the easiest matchup he's had all year, and his quarterback's not going to have any pressure on him. And I can't stand that guy either, so I'm just going to blame him when he doesn't throw him a touchdown. Give me Justin Jefferson.
Okay. Oh, you do not like Darnold. Yes. Okay. Okay. You and I had the Darnold debate since the beginning of the season. I know you're not a Darnold fan, and Jefferson has not seen the end zone. And I saw someone, I believe Hayden Winks of Underdog Network, tweeted something to support exactly what you're saying, Tyler, that basically all the underlying metrics for usage and target share and targets per route run, yards per route run, everything is pointing to Justin Jefferson should have more touchdowns than he has this season, and there should be some positive touchdown regression. Yeah. So I'll just paraphrase what he said.
Matchups the last couple of weeks, like Tennessee was like a matchup we thought he could score. He dropped the touchdown in the end zone, but he was very covered on the play. He almost got the touchdown. They bracketed him the week after that. This is the matchup. There's going to be no pressure on Darnold. It literally comes down to if Darnold can get him the ball. So I'm going to blame Darnold when he can't get him the ball, Meg.
You're queuing it up to blame Darnold. Yeah. Jamie says, I don't think Darnold fans exist, do they? I mean, I was a Darnold girl in best ball season. Drafted some Darnold, and he's definitely fine for the 18th round pick. I took some.
Let's be honest, though, Meg. You didn't think he'd be scoring you points at this point in the year.
I actually
only thought you had him until JJ McCarthy was going to take over.
I didn't ask Steve. I was of the stance that the best thing for JJ McCarthy, the best thing for the Vikings would be if Darnold could be serviceable and have like a resurgence under Kevin O'Connell this season and give him. Now I didn't bake in obviously the JJ McCarthy.
Think they would have went to JJ already if he was healthy?
Oh,
not if they were winning.
Not if they were winning.
I think they'd have went to him. Just with the way Darnold's played recently, ever since this, he started the year great. He's been very, very, very average ever since.
He had a good second half last week, right?
But I think the issue is also JJ McCarthy, unlike some of these other quarterbacks like Nick's, like Jaden Daniels, like Michael Penix, who is sitting the bench. He's got no college experience. Dude had 2 300-yard games in college. You mean he's going to come out there? How many years
did he play? A year and a half at Michigan?
Two and a half.
Yeah. Oh, he played 2. Okay.
He ran a pro-style offense, though. this was my opinion before the draft. Of all the quarterbacks, I wasn't the highest on him. But looking at all of them, he was the one I could be like, well, if any of these guys are going to hit the ground running, it's the one that ran the pro-style offense in college.
Yeah, and I think the whole year, I mean, obviously you hate to see it with an injury and a surgery and whatever. I think he had a couple surgeries. But I think this will serve him, just to sit. Truly, he's sitting and recovering. But yeah, I was super bullish on Darnold from the whole, can have that rebirth. And I know it has had some down weeks lately. We'll see if he can finish the season strong. So, but I get your frustration and the frustration of Jefferson. I certainly want to see more out of Justin Jefferson. I mean, he, to me, is obviously one of the top 2 or 3 receivers in this league. And, we want to see those numbers again. We miss those Justin Jefferson numbers. We miss those Justin Jefferson touchdowns. So Justin Jefferson, anytime touchdown is what you're going with. And I like it. Any other touchdowns you're eyeing up?
As of right now, I haven't really picked out any other ones yet. I'll scroll through them real quick. That was the first one I was like, I have to pick this one.
Yeah,
he has to find the end zone for us this week.
Oh, absolutely. I love that call.
I mean, outside of that, I don't hate taking a Jalen Warren at 2-1. I mean, Najee's down to -135. He's going to get a ton of looks in that game also. Freiermuth's 3-1. He's got a ton of looks. Yeah. So just certain ones like that. I'm pretty sure Steve already talked about Mike Evans. He's still plus money. He probably gets in the end zone again this week. So those would be some guys I'd be targeting.
Yeah, I like the Mike Evans a lot, going back to the well there. I mean, obviously check injury reports, make sure Mike Evans is good to go. He's, hopefully it's just monitoring the hamstring and everything and nothing major with that. How are you guys handling the Cleveland side against Pittsburgh? Do you like their props? We kind of I kind of glossed over it when I was talking about Russ and Pickens, and you kind of said, Tyler, you're worried there isn't going to be enough pushback, but we know the Jameis Winston experience, he does some in a lot of cases put up numbers against defenses you don't think, like he did against Denver. But then there was the Chargers game where we thought he could and he didn't. So I'll go quickly to each of you. Obviously, Judy had a massive game, and obviously we need to see if Tillman's out. If Tillman's out, that target tree condenses. That's really nice. If he's in, it makes it a little more difficult. Are you guys looking at any Cleveland props?
I don't think I am.
Okay. Yeah. Steve?
Yeah, no, I mean, I could see, it's something we targeted Monday night was Jerome Ford receiving out of the backfield. He only ended up with the 1 target, but this game could be a lot different with the Steelers pressure and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where I'd go, but that's about it.
Okay.
It's just, I think Judy, because of what he's done, is going to be inflated. And even Njoku, not loving it.
Okay. So Tyler's got Jefferson, mentioned Mike Evans, who I know we both like as well. Who else do you got, Steve?
So the first one I'm going to go with, I'm going to go back to the Saints-Giants game, and I'm going to go Juwan Johnson plus 340 for a touchdown. Ooh. Again, no Taysom Hill, no receivers. I know MVS catches a touchdown.
He and Nick Westbrook Akine. It's so frustrating.
But I mean, the reality is Juwan Johnson he already saw his targets getting more and more time on the field and targets, with the receivers going down. Now without Taysom Hill, that's got to even skyrocket even more. So I just think that hasn't been fully baked in at plus 340. In the past, this guy was a touchdown red zone machine. Mm-hmm. So I think that plays into it as well. 2 other ones that I definitely have an interest in. One, I'm going to look at the, I do like Mike Evans in that Bucs game. I also like Brock Bowers plus 165.
Yeah.
I mean, again, this guy is incredible. His usage is amazing, but I don't mind taking a look at Cade Otton. It's been a little quiet for him the last couple of weeks, but plus 155, I think is a fair number for him in a matchup that the Raiders are terrible against tight ends. Mm-hmm. Absolutely one of the league's worst against tight ends. And while Mike Evans is the clear alpha, I think Otton could get open this week for a touchdown. And then the last one that I was looking at, let me bring it up to get the right number. It's the, where is it? Give me 1 second.
While you're doing that, I'll just say, if you want to build a national tight ends day, let's just keep running it back because we've hit tight end parlays before. You talked about Juwan Johnson. You talked about Bowers, Kate Otten. I like all those. I'll throw in Jonnu Smith at plus 175. So build a little another, national tight ends day every week situation. And I like all those tight ends at their plus money odds. I like Jonnu is my guy. And so I like him at plus 175. Okay, go ahead and finish yours, Steve.
And speaking of tight ends, I know he's not done it, but Trey McBride plus 200. Oh. This guy gets as many targets as anyone. Seattle secondary, especially in the middle, I think can be exploited. I do think this game is a little bit of a shootout. I know a couple weeks ago it was kind of low scoring, but I could see this game shooting out a bit more. I just feel for a guy who gets this much usage, positive touchdown regression is coming. It's the same argument with Justin Jefferson, just we actually have seen Justin Jefferson in the end zone this year.
Yeah.
So, plus 200 for this guy. I think that's a number worth taking a shot on.
Okay. I like that. All right. I'm going
to get into one more debate, Meg, before you go.
Yeah, go for it.
Just because he brought up Trey McBride.
Yeah.
And everyone gives Kyler shit for Marvin Harrison being pretty average.
Mm-hmm.
So Kyler, is it Kyler Murray's fault, or is Marvin Harrison just a name and not that good of a receiver?
I have not watched enough Cardinals games to make a huge stance on that, or maybe because I watch Red Zone and then, and they're usually in the 4:00 window. And I feel like I just haven't, watched or read enough data on Marvin Harrison to understand why, to really get the why. What do you think the why is, Steve?
So I think it's there's a couple things. I mean, there's no question that Kyler is playing good real life quarterback. Definitely not good like fantasy or props quarterback. He only has, in terms of touchdowns, which are big for fantasy or props, he only has a 3.6% touchdown rate. That's extremely low. His completion rate is 68.7%, which is very good. Right. I think the issue with Marvin Harrison, and he is his touchdown guy. He's got 7 of his 13 touchdowns, over half. Is they don't do anything really in the manufactured touch world at all.
Yeah.
And sure, that's not his elite part of his game, like say Malik Neighbors, but you can still do it. I mean, we see plenty of receivers. I mean, when categorize Terry McLaurin as a manufactured touch guy, we see Cliff Kingsbury doing it for him. So
when he puts him on the right side of the field, yeah.
Well, even on the left side, they give him those screens, just some simple hitters that could really help improve him. If he's getting an extra, 3-4 targets a game, 2-3 catches a game, even if most of those are going for 5 to 10 yards, like every now and then you'll break one. It can also extend drives, things like that. And can just be a confidence booster, make the defense stay honest, just can do a lot of different things. I would like to see that become more a part of his game. Just some of those easy layups that other receivers, and again, some receivers are absolutely built for that. That's not his, elite part of his game, but we see plenty of non those types of receivers get manufactured touches. So why it can't be him, I don't know.
I'll also be interested to see what year 2 looks like for him. Some of these rookies, take a little longer. I didn't think it would be Marvin Harrison Jr. as far as becoming, elite and stuff like that. But there's certainly, one of the guys I'm about to mention has been an amazing rookie, and that's Brian Thomas Jr.
And look at the quarterbacks he's played with.
Exactly.
Neighbors,
Yeah, no, a lot of these.
Look at Brock Bowers.
Right. He's playing with the worst quarterback situation.
Marv's got the best one, and everyone wants to blame the quarterback for Marv doing bad. And Trey McBride's thriving in Arizona.
Right. No, I totally get what you're saying there, Tyler. And I'll be interested to see what his year 2 looks like, and if they can scheme him better. And
he's starting to remind me a lot of the last elite route runner we had come out of college, and that's all the guy really had at his game. Took him a while, and his name's Jerry Jeudy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That Jerry Jeudy Monday night was so wild to me, because I thought, okay, Surtain's going to shut him down. I'm not touching any of his props. And then
first play of the game, he has the prop.
First play of the game, he's like, he's over.
when Surtain was on him, he only had like 20 yards.
Right.
And
but they just moved him around.
He absolutely cooked Levi Wallace in that game.
Oh my God. Yeah. Insane. No, but it was an insane game. And that's why I asked you all about the Cleveland props, because I do feel like everything's always kind of live with Winston, but Steelers defense definitely isn't one I want to attack. So I gotta say hi to our guy Reek in chat. New week, new money. Absolutely. I love that, Reek. Okay. So in summary, Tyler had Jefferson, Mike Evans. Steve talked about some tight ends like Juwan Johnson, Trey McBride, Kate Otten, Brock Bowers. So there's a tight end parlay. But no, those tight ends all have really good numbers. I talked about Jonathan Smith at 190, 175. I'm going to talk about the two guys that I talked about in that Titans-Jaguars game. I have some interest in Calvin Ridley, plus 190, Brian Thomas Jr., plus 250. I know his quarterback is Mac Jones this week, but again, Titans defense is decimated. Brian Thomas Jr. has looked amazing. We're talking about rookie receivers even doing so with crappy quarterbacks. Brian Thomas Jr. has done it. And he has a good matchup with a banged up Titans secondary. Ridley has a good matchup against the Jaguars, revenge game against the Jaguars too, if you're into that. So I like those two and I like their props. All right. So we've covered alts. We've covered anytime touchdowns. Now let's talk about, Steve, we touched on it, but Surtain only allowed Judy 28 yards. The rest of the team allowed him about 220 yards. So, okay, parlays. I've got a fun one for you guys, but I'm going to let you guys go first. So I'll let you go first, Tyler. What is your favorite parlay? Anything can be same game parlay.
I'm going back to that Vikings game, Meg. I'm going to push all my chips in the middle on Sam Darnold and these guys.
Oh God, you're going to be so angry if this does not work on Monday.
We're going to go Justin Jefferson touchdown, Jefferson over 100, and Darnold to throw 3 touchdowns. That gets you 7-1.
Oh, I like that. I mean, Darnold has thrown 3 or 4 touchdowns multiple times this year. So.
Yeah, this should be a defense that can't get pressure on him. He should be able to throw 3 against this defense.
I like that one. Okay, so Jefferson 100, Jefferson TD, Darnold 3 TDs. I like that. Okay, Steve, what do you got for your parlay of the week?
So I'm going to same game parlay, and to shock no one, probably I'm going to pick the game we talked about. Tyler mentioned Tyrone Tracy rushing. I love that. Give me 70 plus. Alvin Kamara 125 plus rushing receiving. Juwan Johnson anytime touchdown, and then Derek Carr plus 225 passing. Those 4 together, 36-1.
Did you say Juwan Johnson TD?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's 26-1. All right.
36-1.
Oh, 36-1. Okay, excuse me. All right, I like it. All right. I would say I like that you attacked that game because you guys both mentioned some props in that game. I think as far as like same game parlays, not combining games, I like the Tampa Raiders game because obviously we talked about some props in that one. And there was one other game potentially if you did want to touch the Cleveland side, the Pittsburgh Cleveland game, and then the Jacksonville Tennessee side. I alluded to that in both my props and anytime touchdowns. So I think all 3 of those games offer a lot that you could go like a same game parlay as well, in addition to the 2 same game parlays you just did. Okay, mine is full narrative. So there are 3 guys, and some of them we've mentioned here already, that are attacking either like career, Mike Evans, like 1,000-yard mark. Has it been, how many years has he hit the 1,000-yard mark, Steve?
I think 10.
Okay, so has it been
9 or 10? Yeah.
10. Okay. So it's been, narrative talked about since he's come back that he needs about, I think 90 plus yards to get 95 yards and he got 100 last week. So I think it's still around 95 yards, 90 yards that he needs to get stick with that over 1,000 yards. So that narrative, Evans going for his 1,000-yard season. Narrative number 2, Brock Bowers. Which record is he passing? The Mike Ditka record, or is it? It's another tight end record. It's some of it.
I think he's all-time tight end catches in a season.
Okay. Okay. So I was going to do
multiple things he's in the mix for.
So where I'm on, I don't see. I need to go to DraftKings because on FanDuel there wasn't stuff for all that. But I'm going to relist it out and then I'll try to get you a number on it. So Brock Bowers kind of pushed alt. Mike Evans pushed alt to 90 because that will pace him. And then Saquon Barkley, he has a chance to break Eric Dickerson's rushing record. Now, granted, if they're up by a ton, there is risk there that they'll just pull him in the fourth quarter. But maybe he gets his 120 yards. I think if he stays on pace for 120 plus rushing yards a game, he keeps pace with the potential breaking of Eric Dickerson's record, which has stood since what, 1984 or something?
Something like that.
So yes. So give me Barkley pushed rushing, Evans pushed receiving, Bowers pushed receiving, narrative of breaking records or setting milestones. So I'm going to go with that, and I'll get an exact number, like I said, because I wasn't available on FanDuel. But I'll get an exact number because I kind of like that. What do you think about my narrative-based one?
I mean, I think they're all in play. And I mean, I definitely love Bowers the most. I think the matchup is very strong. The matchup's good for Evans and Barkley as well. I think you just have to worry about game script.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't see Barkley lines on either site, and I didn't see. So I'll have to put that one together to actually get the number, but that is what I am looking at. So, okay. So that's all. That's anytime touchdowns. That's parlays. Again, check out the Dub Club link on fanspeak.com for a free week, and you will get everything listed out, the individual plays and the parlays. So that takes us to Thursday Night Football. We've got a fun one tonight. NFC North battle, Packers at Lions. Last time the Lions won pretty handedly. It was Jordan Love coming back from his groin injury and, in a messy rain game in Lambeau. Now we got the indoors, and we got a very banged up Detroit defense. So Tyler, how are you handling this game? How do you see this game playing out? And then of course we'll get to our first touchdown bets and building a same game parlay.
I'm going to go ahead and look at my calendar, Meg, and I'm pretty sure it's December, right?
Yes, it's December. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Green Bay hasn't lost on the floor once the month hits December.
Oh, there's a narrative. Whoa.
So,
okay.
I mean, I think that makes it pretty easy here.
Is this an official play from you and Spread? Is this an official play from you and Spread?
I think I'm going to have I don't know, Spread's probably at work already, so I'm going to have to call this on my own. But yeah, I'm taking Green Bay. Like,
I don't mind that.
Detroit's defense is so beat up. They can't keep taking all these injuries and just being able to plug guys in. Like, they lost Hutchinson. Big loss. They were able to withstand that one. They lose a couple more guys. They're able to withstand those guys. Last week, they lost 5 more guys against Chicago.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to leak. I think this is the week they finally leak. Josh Jacobs is going to break through and be the first running back to actually run good against this defense. And it could be a high-scoring game. I think Green Bay in the end, though, etches out and pulls out the win. So I'm on Green Bay plus the 3.5. I think they're going to make this division a very entertaining finish to the end of the year. Because I don't think Detroit's a lock to be the one. I think there's a chance they could fall all the way to 6.
Oh, God.
The bottom could fall out of this team fast, Meg. They lose 2 games. All of a sudden, they lose this one, and they lose one more. Green Bay, Minnesota would jump them real quick. And Green Bay's waiting right there, too. And that pushes them all the way back to 6. So, yeah, Detroit could fall from graces very fast.
That would be sad. I mean, obviously, watching to make the playoffs, whatever, keep, having a good first season under Dan Quinn. But I mean, Detroit's the team I'm rooting for in the NFC as far as the storyline, right? So that would make me sad. And that also would make me think that the Eagles would likely get the number 1 seed, which would also make me sad. But no, I mean, you make all great points. And I will say I did toy with the idea about doing a Packers spread or money line and doing what I did with the Steelers, doing what I did with the Raiders, and either attacking the money line or spread or both, and taking props on the other side, because there's certainly Detroit props I like. So you take Detroit props, Packers, and maybe that's what we can do with our same game parlay to get different. But that's certainly a way to approach it. And it worked not once, but twice last week for us. Steelers money line, Bengals props, Raiders spread, Chiefs props. So that's interesting. I mean, I said on a show this morning that I still think Detroit can pull it out, but I'm very nervous about their situation. But nothing would surprise me here. And I definitely think we could see a much very, very nice back and forth shootout is what I'm hoping for. But nothing would surprise me here, and I wouldn't be surprised if Packers pull this off. Steve, do you see Packers winning or at least covering?
I see the Packers covering, winning. I think it's going to be close. But yeah, these defensive players being out. I know it sounds like they're getting Carlton Davis back, but they're essentially the entire starting defensive line with between Hutchinson and guys like Pascal and Reeder, et cetera, are out. That's a lot, and not just Jacobs, but just Jordan Love. When he's not under pressure, he's so much better. And we know the Detroit secondary is weak to begin with or without Carlton Davis. So yeah, I think Packers are going to, kind of what we saw last Thanksgiving. They went into Detroit, smacked them in the mouth. Like Tyler said, like LaFleur has been a great closing coach every year. And last year it started on Thanksgiving. This year, at Thanksgiving they had a great game at home against Dolphins, but it could be the same thing going into Detroit and saying this, we can win this division as well.
For my best ball shares, and I think Steve's best ball shares will happily take a lot of Green Bay fantasy points tonight from Jacobs, from Love, from the pass catchers. So let's go Green Bay in that department. But I certainly have some exposure on the other side too. So I'm hoping for a back and forth here. So yeah, I've admittedly seesawed on this one today. And honestly, still land in I could see it go either way. So I'll just say, yeah, I could see it be close, but I don't mind the Packers spread, and it would not shock me if the Packers won here. So I think that's a great call out, Tyler. And I like that you said, like, it may not be the official play from you spread, but I assume Jamie was on that the other day on the betting card show.
Yeah, I believe he was on Green Bay.
Our guy Jamie is a big Packers fan, but rightfully
I think even
so.
Spread was like, because Spread said before the show, he was like, I was looking forward to banging the table for Detroit this week, but he's like, I don't think I can with all the injuries. So
yeah. No, the injuries are bad. Okay, now let's talk first touchdown, and then we can build a Thursday night football same game parlay. Tyler, who do you see getting in the end zone first tonight?
We'll have some fun with this one, Meg. We will go with, because all the running backs are like 5-1. I think the highest one's Gibbs at 6.5-1. Give me Jaden Reed 12-1.
Well, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, that's a good one. I was thinking about that one. I like that one. Steve, who do you got getting in the end zone first tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to go, obviously David Montgomery is, the best option. He's pretty much used first on every drive, but and I like the recall. I'm going to go even a little thinner. I know the odds are different. I'm looking at on DK. I'm going to go Tucker Kraft on DK. It's 14-1. Not sure what it is on FanDuel, but he's got really good red zone usage, and I think Detroit is again struggles in secondary. So
okay, Tucker Kraft. 13-1. I'm getting these in as we're talking. And then you said Jaden Reed, 12-1. I like that. I'm just going to go with my guy, JMO. I love JMO. I love rooting him on. Got him on a lot of best ball teams. If he gets a touchdown tonight, I'll be happy.
You think he's out of the doghouse?
I thought Gibbs is the one in the doghouse.
I mean, Jameson put himself in the doghouse when he beamed that Chicago player in the face with the ball and he never came back in the game.
Oh, shit. That's a good point. Hopefully. I mean, I'm going to go with he's out of the doghouse. I also was thinking about Christian Watson, just like a bomb type deal. Both are 14-1. So you could I'll throw either out. May sprinkle on both, but don't mind those. Those are fun long shots. Okay, now it's time to build a same game parlay, Thursday night football. We've talked through some stuff here. I have to ask spread. I have to ask Tyler, are you going with the Packers side here, like the money line or spread? And because if so, I think Steve and I should do Lions props, because that would be a fun way to approach the anti-correlated. But I don't want to force you. If you want to do something else, do whatever you want.
I was probably going to do a prop in this one.
Okay, sounds good. What do you like?
Looking at it here, I'll let you guys go first.
Okay. Mike in chat says he likes the Green Bay money line too. I think this is a letdown spot for the Lions. Yeah. So, I always love the Lions at home, but I think, to me, it's the injuries the most. And like you said, LaFleur in December is a tough out. Beating the Vision team twice is tough to do. So yeah, Mike, I think we're toying with the Green Bay side here, and I may do some kind of Green Bay anti-correlated then. But let's hear your prop then, Tyler, and build a show same game parlay.
I just want to check the numbers on it.
Oh, sorry. You said, Steve, you go first while he's looking at. My bad.
So I'm debating between a couple. I think what I'm going to go with. Oh, sorry, I need to get in the same game parlay. I was wondering why it wasn't working right. Give me a second.
Sure.
I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs, and I'm going to approach it though rushing and receiving.
Okay.
We saw that's what you need last week on Thanksgiving. And I'm just going to stick at 100 on DraftKings. It's just minus 110 for 100 rushing receiving. And you could bump it to 125, but I'm going to go with 100.
It's actually minus 105 on FanDuel. So 100 plus rush receiving. He hasn't had a ton of receiving yards, but you think he could still be involved in the check down game here?
Yeah, I think he'll get enough. I mean, he's been getting, he's got like 40 targets, 30 some targets on the year. We saw last week on Thanksgiving. I just think, with no Romeo Dubs, I think he's involved. And, in the first matchup, he had over 90 rushing yards. So, he could get 100 on his own on the ground.
Yeah.
Sure, you get better odds by betting it that way. But just as we saw Thanksgiving, when he had a couple big explosive plays, that way.
No, we would have hit our Thanksgiving night parlay that we had in Dub Club if Jacobs would have hit his rushing 70 or 80 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he got there. Did you have that too?
I had an 80-1 parlay that came down to Jacobs and he couldn't get there.
Oh, yeah. Ours was just like a 12-1, like just same game parlay. Was yours like throughout the day and you just needed him? Or
no, it was just that game.
Oh, damn. Wow. Oh, that's so frustrating. Yeah, that was brutal because then, as Steve said, he gets there on all purpose yards, but not the rushing yards. We had the same pain. So, sorry about that, Tyler. Yeah, that was brutal. So, okay. So Steve's approaching rush receiving. I like that. So you go 100 plus Josh Jacobs rush receiving. Let me know if you want me to go next, Tyler, or if you want to go.
I'll go next, Meg. These
Sure.
Jaden Reed numbers, they're really weird to me when you look at his receiving and his receptions. He hasn't cleared 40 yards in a couple games, yet his yards spiked up to in the 60s.
Yeah,
he hasn't got over 5 catches in forever, yet his number went up to 4.5. So it's like, kind of want to click unders, but without dudes on the field and Detroit's defense being banged up, I feel like that could just be stepping in front of something you don't want to step in front of.
Right.
So I'm going to stay away from that. I think I'm just going to go back to our guy, Tucker Kraft, though, 35.5. The D-line's beat up for Detroit. They shouldn't get much pressure. He should be able to catch a couple checkdowns. And their linebackers are also beat up, so he could find one in space and just get out there and get that in 1 or 2 catches. So give me Tucker Kraft over 35.5. The line didn't move from last week, and he had 70 yards.
Yeah, no, it definitely didn't. So, Tucker Kraft over 35.5. And his target percentage when Dubs is off the field definitely is one of the ones that goes up. So I like that. Let me catch up to a couple guys in chat, and then I will go back to my pick, giving myself time to. Mike said he likes the Green Bay money line. We talked about the anti-correlated bets. Jamie says he likes Gibbs and Monty over receiving. Spoiler alert. One of our official Dub Club parlays has both these guys receiving. He talks about he says a lot of people are playing Monty receiving yards. I didn't know that. I haven't seen that actually. So I thought we were sneaky, but Green Bay gives up the 5th most receiving yards to running backs out of the backfield. So I kind of like both of them. We have something with both of them. So that's fun. Mike said he couldn't quite get there. Jamie says Monty is averaging 22 a game and his line's only 13.5. He's hit that over 9 times like that. Lions bad against the slot. So Reed could be good there. And then Reek says, I like the Tim Patrick for a touchdown and his receiving yards too. Yeah. Patrick had a long bomb or a long pass on Thanksgiving too. Khalif Raymond's totally out. So on IR. So, all right, I'll let you. I've done this before. I'll let you break the tie. We have both of these in our parlay that's already going to be posted on Dub Club. So I was either going to go Jordan Love. I was combining names. Jordan Reed used to play for Washington Redskins back like 10
I
years
thought
ago.
that was an old name I used to
Yeah,
play for,
yeah. I was like,
Washington.
why did that name feel so familiar? But here I just combine Jordan Love and Jane Reed. I like Jordan Love's passing. You know, they give up the 8th most passing yards because it's kind of a pass funnel, and think he could get there tonight. So I like that, but I also do like the Monty. Do I go with Monty or Gibbs receiving yards? Is there one that you guys like better? Obviously, Love correlates, but kind of anti-correlates to the Josh Jacobs rushing. Do you guys have a preference? Since this is a team event.
I kind of like the running backs receiving for Detroit in this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go with a little more tamed down because I went a little, we pushed it a little bit, I'll say, on our Dove Club one. But Monty has actually, as Jamie pointed out, gotten it 9 times this year. Was it the same or more targets, slightly more targets than Gibbs, Steve? Target share is right around the same.
Yeah, it's very close. It's within like 3 targets, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go, you get 17.5 now. I think it's gotten steamed up just in the last few hours. So people are obviously on it. We are on the alt, spoiler alert. And we did do a parlay with both of them because, again, Packers have given up the 5th most receiving yards to running back. So we've got Josh Jacobs, 100+ rush receiving, Tucker Kraft over 35.5 receiving, and David Montgomery, you get the lower line, and he has, right around the same target share as Gibbs. David Montgomery over 17.5 receiving, and that is plus 546. So that'll be our official play that I will post on Twitter right after this. It will also be posted in Dub Club if you are there. Ken says he has Watson 49.5 and a touchdown. I don't mind that. Detroit gives up, I want to say, the 10th most big play, like over 20 yards. And obviously we know that's Watson's game. Mm-hmm. So spoiler alert, we did a parlay with Watson too. So, and Ken said exactly what I said to Steve when we were talking. It can happen in one play. So, yeah. And Steve and I did a during the game parlay, the Miami Packers game. We got Jonnu alt, we got Tucker Kraft alt, and we just missed Watson by what was it, like 3 yards, Steve?
2 or 3 yards, yeah. I can't remember what exactly it was, but yeah, it's super.
Oh, cool. We got Reek in chat. Joined the Dove Club last week. You guys have been on fire. Thank you for joining, Reek. Glad you think so, and glad that we can win some together. Let's win some together tonight. So I really appreciate hearing that, Reek. So yeah, I love it, guys. That wraps up. We covered alts. We covered anytime touchdowns. We covered parlays. We covered first touchdowns. I already got in all the ones we liked. We have a show, Same Game Parlay. It's going to be posted on Twitter. It's going to be posted on Dub Club. We tease that don't mind if you want to do like a Packers moneyline, Packers spread, couple Detroit props. You can approach things that way. That's certainly a fun way. We hit 2 of those parlays last week doing that very same thing. So I think that covers it. Final thoughts for week 14. Guys, I'll go to Tyler first, and then we can get out of here.
Yeah, I think week 14 is going to be a fun one, Meg. I'm messing around with this Jaden Reed Same Game Parlay real quick, just because I know we talked about his numbers being high.
Yeah.
But if he goes over his numbers, he's probably going to have the big game that he's been not able to have for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't hate just doing 100 yards and a touchdown as a parlay with him. I see on FanDuel that pays out at about plus 525.
Nice.
And I'm just making sure DK doesn't pay better. No, DK's around 5-1. So I'm going to bet that 525 also, him to score and him to have 100 yards.
I like it. He had 113 yards in this matchup outdoors. Obviously, slot receivers, you can attack Detroit through the slot receiver. And yeah, had 113. Didn't have a touchdown, but he certainly could in this matchup or back here in the second matchup. So I like that a lot, Tyler. Steve, final thoughts for week 14 or tonight?
Yeah, I think we highlighted there's some key games to target during the week. The Tampa Raiders game, Saints Giants game, especially, I think are very interesting. Definitely look at the injury report. See, about maybe, that's why I like to say Tyreek. But for tonight's game, I have another parlay I was going to throw out there.
Yeah, look, do it.
These 2 offenses are very highly scoring. And when you and I talked earlier about like Dub Club, well, we like targeting lines. It's tough to say who's going to get it. But it's not as tough to say who's going to get the touchdowns for these teams. They're very, With the Lions, it's both running backs and Amon-Ra. With the Packers, it's Jacobs, Reed, and Kraft. That's where the touchdowns go. So there should be a lot of touchdowns scored in this game. Why not take a shot at get all four, or get four of them? David Montgomery, Josh Jacobs, Amon-Ra, Jaden Reed, 2 from each side, plus 1,300 on DraftKings. I think just could be a fun, small, little same game parlay to look at.
I gotta add a little spice to that one, Steve. Just because you talked it up, 4 touchdowns. It's a Thursday night divisional game with a total above 50. Add that under.
I was gonna say, I was just gonna say, are you adding the under?
Oh yeah, I like that.
What did it jump?
Gonna jump it to like 100 to 1.
No, just 80 to 1.
No, just 80 to 1.
Yeah, just 80.
Just 80 to 1. No big deal. Steve, what was it again? Monty, Jacobs, Reed, and who was the fourth?
Monty, Jacobs, Amon-Ra, Reed.
Okay. Monty, Jacobs, Amon-Ra, Reed. Okay. And then Tyler gave out Jaden Reed 100, Jaden Reed touchdown. So we have a lot of parlays. We have the show parlay. They each gave you an extra parlay. I'm giving you an extra parlay. I'll probably do something with Packers spread and a couple Detroit props. So there we got a little bonus for you. My final thoughts are join Reek in the Dove Club. I mean, it's again free for a week and then just $45 for the rest of the NFL season. Join Reek. We've been on fire. Join him and us, and let's win together. It's way more fun that way. But we certainly appreciate you coming off the Thanksgiving week. Very thankful for all of you. Hit that like and subscribe on the way out. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great week 14. If you are in Dove Club, look for everything shortly here for Thursday night. Look for everything on Saturday for Sunday. But have a great week 14. Get some winners. For Steve, for Tyler, I'm Meg, and we will see you next time.